This video is part of the GRESB Assessment Training Program. It will cover how to complete specific aspects in the Infrastructure Asset Assessment Performance component using the GRESB Assessment Portal. We'll go through indicators aspect by aspect, providing guidance and examples of how to report on each in the Assessment Portal. For an overview of the structure of the indicators in the Performance component, refer to the lesson titled Asset Assessment Performance Component Structure. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to complete the aspect energy in the performance component of the infrastructure asset assessment. After this lesson, we recommend that you take the lessons on other indicators in the performance component that are relevant to your entity. The aspect covered in this lesson is energy. There is just one indicator on energy performance, but it's broken into multiple tables to guide the participant through the reporting process. Selecting yes for any question will open up the relevant reporting table. To complete each table, you must be able to provide data for the mandatory metrics. Otherwise, change the answer to no. Questions on external review and exceptions follow the data tables. This diagram explains the different tables in the energy indicator in relation to the asset and its boundaries. Energy may be imported or purchased from outside the asset and used directly to power the infrastructure activities, used as a fuel to generate electricity, or processed or transmitted for export. Energy may be generated on site. Energy will typically be consumed on site or in carrying out activities, and energy may be exported. There is an energy balance reflected in the tables as shown in this equation. Note that not all of these energy categories need be present. An example is a renewable energy generation asset, where the only relevant tables might be energy generated on site and energy exported. The first table covers energy purchased or imported. All energy types are mandatory to report. So enter 0 if you did not import or purchase energy of a particular type. Note that all energy metrics are in megawatt hours, so you may need to make your own conversions if you have energy data in liters or kilowatt hours. There are many resources available online to do this. Only include a fuel as other if it is not already listed in the table. For example, wood pallets should be reported under biofuels. The percentage renewable energy imported is calculated by dividing the total renewable energy imported or purchased by the total imported or purchased energy. In the second table, entities can provide information on energy generated on-site. This may include energy from nuclear or renewable sources such as solar PV, but also biofuels generated from on-site processes such as anaerobic digestion. Again, entering 0 as an answer is allowed if accurate. Only include a source as other if it is not already listed in the table. For example, solar PV, solar thermal energy, and solar heating should all be included under solar. The third table covers any energy that was exported and/or sold by the entity during the reporting year. This is only for energy transferred outside the entity reporting boundary. Again, entering 0 as an answer is allowed if accurate. Non-biomass waste that is exported with the purpose of energy recovery is still considered waste and should be reported under the aspect waste. And any other imported waste that is not used in energy generation should also be reported under waste. The percentage of renewable energy exported is calculated by dividing the total from renewable sources by the total energy exported. The total row in this table is the scored metric only for entities whose primary sector is power generation. This is within the sector superclasses of power generation excluding renewables and renewable power. Entities in these sectors will be scored on their reporting of the mandatory metrics and therefore the calculated total in this table. To obtain full points for the indicator, entities should provide targets for the reporting year and a future year for the scored metric. Note that the targets for the scored metric are not calculated automatically. The final tables in this indicator are the consumption and intensities tables. The reporting year performance data for these tables is calculated automatically based on the values provided in the previous energy tables. The total row in the consumption table is the scored metric for all entities, with the exception of entities in the sector superclasses, power generation excluding renewables, and renewable power. To obtain full points for the indicator, entities should provide targets for the reporting year and a future year for the scored metric. Note that the targets for the scored metric are not calculated automatically. Energy intensity metric targets are not mandatory to report and are not scored. Thank you for taking the time to complete this lesson. We hope that it helps you get a better understanding of the asset assessment performance component and prepared you to complete this component accurately. We recommend that you take the lessons on other indicators in the performance component that are relevant to your entity next. If you have any questions, please contact the GRESB help desk at gresb.com/contact.